All right. We are live from the War Room for the first time ever. Hello and welcome in alongside Chris Schroyer and Sam Corcoran. I'm Shrikar Rajendran. Now, this is the first time we've done this. So, sorry if it's a little rocky, but we wanted to break down some really important business in the light heavyweight division. Carlos Ulberg versus Dominic Reyes, number 3 versus number 8, has officially been confirmed for UFC Perth. Fight night main event. It's going to be 5 rounds, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, this is really interesting because I was talking with these guys not too long ago. It was like actually yesterday. And I was like, what is going to be the Perth main event? Because right now this card was looking really bad in terms of like who was going to fight in Australia on that date because they had really no one going yet. But honestly, this is a solid main event. I think this is one of the better ones that you could get. It's a good competitive fight. You know, I think Reyes and Ulberg will put on a banger, but I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'll get into my early pick later. What do y'all think about the main event?
So yeah, I personally think. Or go ahead, Chris.
No, you got it.
All right, I'll go ahead. So
yeah, sure.
This was the fight that had to happen in the light heavyweight division. Dom Reyes and Carlos Ulberg are the 2 top contenders behind Yuri Prochazka and Khalil Roundtree. That's what I find so interesting about this fight.
Yeah.
Why schedule it now? Why not wait until we have a true title eliminator? Because this feels like a title eliminator fight, but it's not. And they're gonna have to wait not until October when they fight Pereira and Ankalaev fight, but they're gonna have to wait until after the winner of Pereira and Ankalaev fights the winner of Yuri and Roundtree. So you might have to have a layoff of what could be around 9 months or something. Dom Reyes has been a fairly active fighter in the UFC. Carlos Ulberg, fairly active fighter in the UFC. I know he hasn't fought a lot this year, but that's also there has been no one to fight. I feel like they should have done this fight a little bit later. I don't hate this fight at all on paper.
But like, what other fight are you going to put on right now?
I mean, that's the other thing. I don't really know what other fight you would put on right now. If you want, especially if you want like an Australian or a New Zealand-born fighter, that's probably your best bet. Dan Hooker's the other option you could have done. I have Dan Hooker match made against Beneil Dariush. I think that would have been a great headliner for that fight.
Hooker and Fiziev would have been crazy.
Fiziev would have been fine. Yeah, I have Fiziev Gamrot, but either one of those would have been fine. I think Hooker would have been a better one, but I don't hate this fight whatsoever. I'm super excited to watch it. It's going to be pure entertainment.
No, 100%. I definitely agree. And for me, it's always nice to see Dom Reyes coming back to the top after, you know, having somewhat of a fall off. Like it's hard to call it that, but he definitely fell off the map for quite some time. And he's the guy that, you know, arguably gave John Jones his toughest matchup to date. Honestly, probably ever, because I don't know if we're ever going to see him again. But yeah, like he's bounced back in a huge way. We saw it in the knockout against Nikita Krylov, and just what he's been doing. He's kind of just been running through people again. He has 3 straight TKO wins, and he's living up to that devastator name again, the name that put him on the map. And Carlos Ulberg's doing the same, man. He's just been running through the light heavyweight division. His lone loss was to Kennedy Nezuchukwu. I got it right this time. I was confident in saying it. His only loss is to Kennedy when Kennedy, you know, was trying to make a name for himself in the UFC as well, and that was back in 2021. And I think Ulberg's a great fighter, but if I'm going to make an early pick right here, I think experience is going to reign supreme. And Dom Reyes has been.
You're crazy, bro. You're crazy.
So
bro.
I think the Devastator is going to make it back to the top. That's just me personally. It's an early pick, very subject to change, but I'm excited to see this one. I think this is a banger for Perth. Honestly, this makes it a good card.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on it a little bit. Rohan in the chat said Khabib is the GOAT. Short answer, no, he's not the GOAT. I'll give you my GOAT list later on in the live. I'll give you a GOAT list.
About the GOAT list, so we'll talk about this later.
I sent these to my GOAT list a little earlier. I
will make a GOAT list.
Yeah, we'll do that later. We'll do that later in the video. Give us like 5-10 minutes. But I strongly disagree, Chris. This is not like I think this is the worst possible like stylistic matchup for Dominic Reyes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm going Carlos.
I don't know, man.
Because Reyes always charges in. And Ulberg is an insanely good counter striker. I feel like if you put those two together in the cage, at some point, Reyes is going to overextend. He's going to go in because he's so aggressive. That's already in his nature.
Okay.
And his chin is already sus. Like, his chin is already bad. Like, the fact that he's gone through, like, Anthony Smith and Dustin Jacoby, I guess, was a guy that could test his chin.
Yep.
But Carlos Ulberg will literally put your lights out. Like, his speed is crazy. His timing is always good. Yeah. Honestly, I think Ulberg is going to knock him out. Like, that's my early pick. I think Ulberg will literally put his lights out in Perth in front of his home crowd.
I don't hate that pick.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm watching the Dominic Reyes of old right now. The way he's just been running through people. And yes, quality of comp, not amazing. The Nikita Krylov knockout was crazy, though. That was awesome.
Although Krylov just had another brutal loss, so that's
exactly
looking worse and worse.
Yeah, but I think that fight's looking worse and worse because he got knocked the F out by Dominic Reyes.
True.
But at the same time, I think that Dom has just been in those big fights, and that will reign supreme initially.
Hey, what's good, Sar? What's good?
Yeah, no, it'll reign supreme, I think. But don't get me wrong, Ulberg can definitely knock him out. And you're right, Shrikar. He does have a sus chin, Dominic Reyes. But experience has tended to reign supreme. And, he's been around the block for a minute. He took that extra time off, and we've seen what he's done with it. He's bounced back in a big way. If he wants any ambition to reach that light heavyweight gold again for the first time, he almost had it with John Jones, arguably won that fight. This is the opportunity, man. You make a huge statement. You knock out one of the biggest contenders in the division. And, I mean, I think it's safe to say Ulberg's still a prospect. Like, he only is 12. He's only 12.
No. At this point, he's not a prospect.
He's definitely not a prospect.
He's a contender. He's top 3 in the division.
Yeah, that's not a prospect. That's a contender.
I guess.
He's a young
like
contender.
age maybe, but like
I'd say he's a young contender. But like at the same time, like dude has 13 pro fights like that. I mean, Dominic Reyes is 17, but he also took a lot of time off. So I think it'll be interesting to see. But right now, I got my boy Dom the Devastator. I think he got that.
So the one thing about the experience.
Let me check preliminary odds real quick. You got it, Sam.
Yeah, the one thing about experience.
Definitely.
They got to be out. The one thing about experience I want to say, Carlos Ulberg just came off a win against Jan Blachowicz, a former champion, one of the more experienced fighters in this fight.
Yeah.
It was a close fight, but like at the same time, that screams experience to me. I know if you put him up against maybe like
I feel like beating an experienced guy doesn't make you experienced, but I get what you're saying. Well, yeah, no, it doesn't make you fully experienced, but I think at the end of the day, he can beat some of the most experienced guys. It's good comp.
To kind of counter Chris's point. I do think early preliminary pick, I think Ulberg wins this fight. I think right now it would probably go to decision. I think people are underestimating Dom Reyes.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. In a
Dom Reyes fight is not going to decision.
Ooh, that
unless it's John Jones.
To not go the distance, that's going to be like minus like 1,200.
Maybe I'll have to look more into it once the odds come out, once it shapes out. This is in September 27th, so it's going to be a while from now. But my early pick is Carlos Ulberg to win this fight. And I think the other thing I think what's going to happen, because he hasn't fought, because he's going to have such a long layoff, it's going to be one of two things. He's either A, going to just do the layoff, or B, depending on when the next championship fight is, he's going to be in a title eliminator with the loser of Pereira and Ankalaev, which I don't really like. I don't really like for Carlos Ulberg because I think this win gives him a title shot, but I don't know. That's why I find so interesting about this timing, but it is what it is. It's a fight that needed to happen, and I'm excited to see it happen.
100%. If Pereira loses to Ankalaev, he's moving up to heavy. There's no reason for him to fight Ulberg.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing.
So he's still going to be sitting on his hands.
Also, he may even move up to heavyweight.
It's interesting to see because I completely forgot about this, but this fight was supposed to happen 2 times last year. One, Ulberg got an injury. It was supposed to happen on the initial Strickland versus Duplessis card where Duplessis won the title. That was on January 20th, 2024. Ulberg had to withdraw because of injury. And then it was supposed to happen on the Blanchfield Fior fight night in March of
it was in Jersey,
2024. Yeah. And that was because Dominic Reyes withdrew. So hopefully no one withdraws this time. I'm praying. But no, Sam, you're
especially
right.
now that it's a main event.
Yeah, no, definitely. The UFC, well, we're about to get to that in a minute because UFC is probably about fed up with some of these main events falling through. But yeah, Sam, you're right. This is a fight that absolutely needs to happen. And it's basically a title eliminator fight. And yeah, I mean, but there's one thing that I think I could say. I don't think this is going to decision. I think someone is going to be face first on the canvas. So,
I think the possibility that we can't really rule out yet is whoever wins between Ulberg and Reyes, assuming they're not getting the next shot, which they probably won't.
Right.
Maybe they fight the loser of Yuri and Khalil. Maybe.
No, it's gonna be the loser. Okay. So they'll probably fight Ankalaev if he loses, Actually, sorry, no, that's not my point. Sorry, if Pereira wins, could he move up to heavyweight? That's the other thing. Even if he wins, he could move up, and then it would be a vacant title between probably Yuri Prohaska and round two winner against the winner of this, and then Ankalaev is gonna get the loser of that.
But I'm not gonna lie, if Pereira moves up, if he beats Ankalaev and decides to move up, he's gonna do it with the light heavyweight belt. Like, I don't think the belt will become. Well,
it'll be an interim champ then. It'll be an
interim championship either way. So,
but
I guess whichever way you go, someone's fighting for a belt.
Yeah.
Also update on the odds. I can't find any.
It's cooked.
It is cooked. So
I feel like Ulberg will come out as the favorite, though. I think pretty safe to say.
The odds will be set literally by tomorrow, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Honestly, in a couple hours, it may be set. But if we look at the top of the light heavyweight picture, it's all pretty much booked up now. And then everything that has to come is everything under pretty much a number 5, basically. Like we mentioned Bogdan Guskov potentially fighting Jamal Hill. Azamat Murzakanov is booked against Alexander Rakic. Like, there's fights within the top 10. Light heavyweight is probably the most booked division right now, which is good. They have a good cycle going. We kind of understand the future outlook. We know where it's going to be. There's not as many questions. There's more answers than questions, which is good. But a lot of it comes down to that main event, title fight between Ankalaev and Pereira, what happens there, because whatever Alex decides to do next is going to be pretty much what happens for the rest of the light heavyweight division, because that's going to be the biggest factor. I guess any more thoughts on the light heavyweight picture for you guys? Is there anything that stands out to you about any of the fights that have been announced? Because we just got light heavyweight news.
I mean, they're all bangers. That's all I really got to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, a fight I'm excited to see, and Shrikar as well. I mean, dude, Yuri versus Khalil is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Khalil to win.
I really want Khalil to win.
Well, is Shrikar going to have a bigger crash out with the Whitaker loss, or if Khalil loses, is that going to be a bigger crash out than this?
I won't crash out because Khalil is going to win.
Yo, Khalil Roundtree, if you're seeing this right now, we'd love to have you on for an interview.
There's no way Khalil Roundtree is watching this.
Hey, the internet.
Five viewers, and there are 8 billion people in this world. There's a chance.
There is a chance. So you're saying there's a chance?
Yes.
Hopefully, one of them is Khalil.
Yes. Well, Shrikar, you were speaking of main events being canceled in pretty recently, and this week. We have a new main event for the card this week. It was supposed to be Amir Albazi versus Tatsuro Taira. Albazi is pulled out again. It seems like he's been having some issues with the injury issues, weight cut issues, you name it. And now it's Tatsuro Taira versus Hyung-Sun Park, who was supposed to fight the week after against Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg now fighting Odie Osborne on August 9th.
Odie.
Yes, guys. What do you think of these? What do you think of these two fights?
I mean, okay, here's the thing. On short notice, it's not bad. And we're gonna have our picks out for Taira and Park. Hopefully Friday.
I won't pick this Taira fight right now because I want to save that for Friday.
Yeah, I won't pick it, but I think over a 5-round fight, I think the matchup definitely favors Tatsuro Taira.
Definitely.
Just because Park hasn't been in a spot like this before. But I think Park is a really, really good flyweight prospect. This guy has power, has a lot of power. I forgot who did he finish last time out? He finished It wasn't that long ago, and then he got thrust against Steve Erceg, and then he got pulled to this.
He beat Carlos Hernandez.
Yeah,
Carlos Hernandez, who
he did
Tyra's
not fight
also.
Ursa. He fought Brandon Royval.
Well,
Tyra fought Brandon Royval.
Yeah, Tyra fought Royval.
Park beat Carlos Hernandez.
Mark beat Hernandez. Tyra also beat Hernandez, so they have that common
They both
opponent.
beat Hernandez. They both beat Hernandez by knockout, I believe.
I will say, though, I watched back that Royval-Tyra fight. I honestly think we cannot put any shame on Tyra in that fight because he actually really stuck it to Royval. Like, I don't think he lost any hype in the process of that fight. And honestly, people could be sleeping on Tyra going into this one. I think Hyun-Sung Park is really, really good. But I do think, I won't say experience matters because they're both really young, but Tyra's faced much better comp, and he's stacked up well against that comp as well. So personally, I'd lean towards Tyra. You're going to see my full breakdown once I do a little bit more film study and I really get a good grip on it. But that's kind of the early lean. As for Erceg and Odie Osborne, I think Erceg should get it done. Thank God he's not fighting an absolute juggernaut. Like, this guy went through the ringer, man. That's like 3 fights. He had to fight Pantoja, then he had to fight KKF, and then he had to fight Brandon Moreno, and now he's fighting Odie Osborne. Noticeable step down in competition. Thing we got to note here, this fight is going to be at 135. It's not going to be at the flyweight limit. It's going to be at bantamweight. So bantamweight Steve Erceg. It's just going to be interesting. Odie Osborne has some experience with weight fluctuations, and he's kind of bounced between classes before. So this should be an interesting one, man. This should be an interesting one. I think Erceg will end up getting it done. But again, that's next week. We're going to have our picks out for that as well. So stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited for this. And props to the UFC for bouncing back so quickly with, actually a pretty solid fight. Speaking about the Tyra Park main event, that's hard when it falls out, the week before. And thank gosh it's not in a big arena. It's only at the Apex. And no disrespect to the Apex, but it's at the Apex for a reason. I think that Park is a very promising young prospect. He's looked very good, but Tyra's also a promising young prospect. He's been around the block. He's fought Brandon Royval already. And, he did. I would say Brandon Royval, surely won that fight. But Tyra showed promise. And I think that
Tyra almost finished him.
He almost did. And that's credit to him. That's credit to, both fighters that, Royval was able to survive that and win. And we've seen what's happened with him in the past month. But I just think that, it's so hard to play the fight game and, promote things like that. But Dana White is one of the best promoters in the world. And if he's going to put together something that the fans are going to want to, if he's in the opportunity to put something together the fans want to see, he will 1000% do it. And I think he did just that. 2 promising prospects from Asia that also is in tune with another audience that is trying to grow in the MMA community and are growing very much.
And they have an upcoming fight night this month.
100%. Yeah, they do in Shanghai. And, if you guys don't watch any, if our viewers or anyone who's listening to this podcast doesn't watch any of the other, I wouldn't say promotions, any of the other things that go on in the UFC, check out Dana White Contender Series. Check out Road to the UFC. Road to the UFC is awesome because it is all European prospects and Asian prospects that you will never hear about because, they just don't have the opportunity to put themselves on the map. Dana White is looking for people in every corner of the earth. I'm pretty sure Tyra was actually on Road to UFC. If I'm not mistaken.
I believe he was.
He won Road to UFC. Even Rinya Nakamura, he was on the Road to UFC.
Who's also fighting on this card this weekend.
Yes, he is fighting on this card, and that should be a great fight against Nathan Fletcher, who was in The Ultimate Fighter. Just there's so many things that you can find fighters in the UFC or trying to make the UFC. Like some of these fighters might not even win their fight. And you learn their name and they might be back one day. And then when you see them again, you're like, oh, well, I saw them on, X, Y, and Z. I think that's what's so good about the UFC is they've been branching out so much. And Contender Series has been amazing. And so is Road to the UFC. Road to the UFC happens very early in the morning, so you might have to catch the tail end of or recorded version of it. But I like to see these fighters, in big spots because it just shows that You don't just have to come from another promotion, or someone can just have a magnifying glass on you at all times. I think that Dana White and the entire UFC organization has been doing a great job with this, and we're gonna see that product on display on Saturday. And for Urseg and Ode Osborne, that should be a good fight too. I think Urseg is a great fighter. You're right; he's just been through the ringer, but it should be a good fight. Ode's been around the block, so he won't go out easy.
Yeah, you mentioned this upcoming fight on Saturday between Tyra and Park, and I think for a short notice fight, I think this is fine. There's not much you can do a week's notice, and obviously Park is fighting next week. It makes a lot of sense, and it's great to see like two of these like young contender. Like, I'm not going to say Park is a contender. Tyra is a contender. I think he's 2 away from a title shot.
Park could be a contender soon.
Park could. I would say Park, if he wins this, I mean, he's
definitely a contender if he wins it.
Oh, for sure. I think at the end of the day, you look at this card, and I'll talk more about this, but someone put it to me this way. It was a YouTuber I was watching. I forget who it was, but someone said on paper, this is the worst card of the year, and it's not even close. But for the hardcore MMA fan, this is a fun card.
I disagree with that though, because
but you're
on paper it's still a good fight night. Like you're the hardcore MMA fan. But even if you're not a hardcore, you're gonna tell me Gamrot and Ludovic Klein, that fight night is better than this? Like
that's
what?
That's 2 unranked fighters. That's why it's like on paper this is a terrible card.
I strongly disagree with that. But
you know what? I'd have to agree.
There's no way the Blanchfield Barber card is better on paper than this fight night. Like, there's just no way.
You know what?
There was no fight on that card that's as good as Esteban Ribovic and what's his face.
But do the casual fans know who that is? I don't think
you should. He just fought at the Sphere.
Like at the early prelims.
No, he was actually on the main card.
No, he was actually on the main card.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that's Zelhu. Also,
this was probably the best fight of the year.
Yeah, if you want to watch a banger fight, go watch Esteban Ribovic versus Daniel Zellhuber. That was crazy work, bro. That from both of them. But I really want to agree with Sam, because if you don't watch UFC that much,
Blanchfield card is better.
I'm
no way.
Okay,
so Blanchfield and Barber on it, because I know they didn't end up fighting.
Okay, so on this card,
but then how is UFC 318 a banger pay-per-view? You know what I mean? Like,
I
feel like we flip-flop this argument too much.
I never said it was a banger. I did. Is that what you're saying? I never said it was a banger. I said it was an underrated card.
All right, well,
and it ended up being great.
Yeah, but by that same logic that you're using, I'm going to say this is an underrated card.
I'm not going to lie.
That's
the cards are pretty much equal.
I'm not disagreeing with
you.
There's no way, bro. There's no way.
I'm like looking at it, and maybe if Blanchfield and Barber actually fought, depending on how that fight went. Well, the thing is, I can't judge any of the fights that happened just straight up on paper. Honestly, this card is actually better. I'm looking at it right now.
Kevin Vallejos is on this card, which is really, really good.
I mean, yeah, you have prospects on prospects. Austin Bashi's on this card.
Saribovic is fighting Elvis Brenner. That's my bad. I blanked.
Also, if you guys want to watch a banger fight, watch that fight on Saturday. Elvis Brenner has a chin of steel, and Esteban Ribovic throws the kitchen sink at everyone he fights. So, yeah,
and I won't lie, this is a good card for like if you want like an underrated.
How about we just say they're both equal? But you know what? Like, now that I really look at it, yeah, dude, that card, the Blanchfield Barber card, might be worse.
I'm actually gonna go look at it right now. I'm gonna go.
I was looking at it. I'm actually comparing it right now.
On that card, I'm the
worst card.
It's not. It was not, both cards were not great, nonetheless. But anyways, I like how it's the best thing that the UFC can do, and I think it will end up being a good fight. I think this will end up being a good card. I'm not saying this is a bad card.
But yeah, so you saw it on Twitter, you said?
I know it was a YouTuber. I forget who it was. It was I forget who it was, but
it's okay. We won't call him out. Maybe we can have him on the pod.
I won't call him out either. Like, all respect, I just disagree with the take. Like, it's it is what it is.
Anyways, I was also gonna say the Steve Urseg fight is definitely interesting. Urseg needs a bounce back win, and they're not feeding him to the wolves anymore.
They're giving him an alley-oop with this one, in my opinion.
They're giving it a common alley-oop, and good for Osborne for taking this, but Urseg, he needs this. He needs a win. He's not going to fight too far up. I believe I have him if he wins. Oh, I actually don't have him. Oh, no, I actually do have him. If Steve Urseg wins, I said, and Shrikar and I were debating this earlier, I think Steve Urseg, if he wins, gets Kyoji Horiguchi, who the UFC just signed. He was supposed to take on Tahir Ulanbekov. That got canceled.
Yep.
Shrikar, you believe he's deserving of a top 5 bout, which I think is absolutely
absurd. I would love to see Moreno and Kyoji at Noche. And the reason being, just think about what they've been doing with flyweight. They brought Kaya Sakura from Ryzen, and he got a title shot in his first fight. And this is Kyoji Horiguchi, who's already been, and he's fought Mighty Mouse. He's already been in the UFC.
Yeah, no.
Ryzen champ.
I think he's worthy of a top 5.
He's worthy of a top 5. For sure.
I just think it's interesting how they schedule him with number 12, and that does not scream he's worthy top 5 to me. If he was worthy top 5, Moreno's been unbooked for so long. Why didn't they book him with? But
that's also because Tagir is an up and comer, and they wanted to test him. But that's the thing, I feel like numbers don't really matter as much as the name. Because they want Kyoji, if they wanted Kyoji to fight a Ulanbekov or a Russian in Baku, it would make sense because of the region. You know what I mean? And because of the timing as well. Because Urseg was already fighting Moreno. He was 1 month removed from it.
I think for Moreno, what I have right now is the winner of Tyron Park as a title eliminator. I think that's the best idea because both, I think, are going to be one away. Moreno's the closest to a title shot besides Josh Van, obviously, that hasn't been booked. But nonetheless, still.
I don't know.
I think if Tyler wins, it would be a title eliminator. But if Park wins, I don't think it would be a title eliminator.
That's valid.
Park probably needs a couple more after.
He might need 2 more. But Manel Kopp's also there. Brandon Royval will have maybe a bounce back against Manel Kopp or someone.
And you know what? You know what's funny? Horiguchi beat Manel Kopp in Ryzen.
I know, which is funny. So. Lots
a lot of parody. I love the parody.
That all goes into account. I feel like Moreno is going to be fighting Kyoji at Noche. If it's not Royval, because that's the rumor right now, give me Kyoji Horiguchi versus Brandon. This is such a good matchup.
I would really not want to see Royval Moreno again.
Yeah, no, we don't need to see that. We don't
need to see that again.
Give us a fresh matchup, and Moreno and Kyoji would be a banger, an absolute banger, and perfect for Noche too. So
totally.
Hopefully,
you guys. Someone mentioned Demetrius Johnson earlier fighting Manel Kopp maybe a few seconds ago. Let's talk about the GOAT debate that we said we were going to do.
Are we doing that right now?
Let's do it.
We can do that right now. Unless you guys have anything else to talk about the flyweight division. I'm all good with that. I feel like we can save the rest for when we do the pre-fight stream. Or not stream, it'll be a recording. We're going to do a midweek stream. Try to do that every week. Post-fight recording, pre-fight recording. That's usually going to be the weekly schedule. So if you guys are good with that, we can move on to this GOAT debate.
Let's do it. All
right.
I want to hear yours first, Sam.
You want to hear mine first?
Because you're the only one that I haven't heard a GOAT list from.
So let's put a little. I would say my Mount Rushmore is, and for me it feels pretty obvious. It feels Demetrius Johnson. This is not in any particular order, by the way. Demetrius Johnson, Georges St. Pierre, Khabib Nurmagomedov. And who was the fourth? I just had him on my mind. It was why am I blanking on this? I just had a fourth. GSP, Demetrius Johnson, Khabib. Why am I? It's not John Jones. It's not John Jones. I am blanking on this name. Why am I blanking on it? My brain just shut off.
It's not John Jones. That's all I had to hear.
That's all I had to hear. John Jones.
You know what? Great GOAT list, man.
Great GOAT list.
I can't even be mad.
Oh no, it was it was Anderson Silva.
Silva.
That was the other one. I don't know why that took me so long, but that is my GOAT list. GSP, Brandon, not Brandon Moran. We were just talking about him. Demetrius Johnson, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Anderson Silva. That's my GOAT list. I'll tell you why I don't think John Jones should be on there, and it's pretty obvious to me. You're ducking fighters. You're on steroids.
Bro. All right, so then Silva has to be off your GOAT list because he took steroids too. He popped.
He didn't abuse them like John Jones did.
He popped though.
John Jones abused
That's honestly
them
the reason why I don't have Silva top 3. It's because he popped.
Who are your top 3, Street Car?
Tit for tat.
I'll give you my top 5. And I'll preface this by saying I don't think there is a GOAT of the sport. Like, I just don't think there is. But if you wanted me to make like a list of people that I think should be considered in that conversation, it would go as follows. I would go GSP for sure, model guy and a model fighter. Mighty Mouse for sure. Just his absolute reign of terror over flyweight was crazy. And Mighty Mouse, like, that nickname itself goes to show the fighter he was. Like, he was literally always the Mighty Mouse guy, and he'd still dominate. So Mighty Mouse is there. So we have GSP and Mighty Mouse. Big shout out Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes has to be on the GOAT list. Greatest women's
easily
fighter
female GOAT. Yes.
Yep.
And I don't separate men's and female. I'll throw her on the GOAT list. She's the greatest women's fighter of all time. Amanda Nunes is there. 4. Volk. I think Volk is on the list. I think Volk is top 5 all time. When I actually look back and see what he did at featherweight, my God, man. Like, the people he beat Max Holloway 3 times. And in the last fight, where Max had seemingly gotten better,
that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
We have never seen Max Holloway completely just outclassed over 5 rounds like that. Because Topuria knocked him out. But Volk really took it the distance with him. Like, I think Volk is a top 5 fighter of all time, and he's the featherweight GOAT for sure. Like,
easily.
Like, if we go through the run, let me think real quick. So he won the belt from he beat Aldo. I don't know if that was for the belt, but he beat
Aldo. Was not for the belt.
He beat Max for the belt, and then he goes
twice for the belt. Actually,
he defends against Ortega.
Arguably beat him 3 times.
He defends against Ortega. He defends against Max. He defends against TKZ, where, oh my God, if you watch that TKZ fight,
oh my God,
that was one of the most dominant title performances of all time. And then he beats Max again, like 3 months later. He beats Max again, and he does it worse than the first 2 times. And then he goes up, he fights Islam. He gives Islam his toughest fight at lightweight. And this is from a featherweight who's 5'6". He gives him his toughest fight at lightweight. And then, obviously, he gets knocked out in the rematch. It was short notice. We'll erase that from my mind. It doesn't help my agenda, so I'm not using it. And then he gets knocked out by Topuria, but Topuria is going to be the future GOAT. So, I mean, understandable. Yeah. And then he beats Diego Lopez to get the belt back. Like, this guy has had essentially a spotless career. Like, minus the Islam and Topuria losses, this has been a spotless career for Volk. And I think reigning over a division like featherweight, where there were killers through, like, various different eras, ones that were still persisting from the old era when Volk was there. Like, this guy was so dominant over featherweight. I think he's a top 5 fighter of all time. And this is something, like, I didn't really come around to until, like, maybe like a week or 2 ago. But he's there. And 5, I'll go Anderson Silva. Like, obviously he did pop, but I still think he is the greatest middleweight of all time. I still look at his comp and his absolute, like, he
had a reign of terror.
He had a reign of terror.
Oh, that was insane. He would have kept it going if he just wasn't so damn cocky.
And with John Jones, man, I'm not like I'm trying to hate, like I'm D1 hating, but like I just don't like one. It's the cheating for one. It's the fact that I never feel like his game would have scaled well to the modern era for 2. Like, I feel like 2020's John Jones is the most overrated fighter of all time. Like, of all time, if you ask me, that is the most overrated fighter. Let me pull up his run real quick. So he knocks out DC in a fight that got him sniffed out for roids. And then he went on to fight Gustafsson, again, who was washed, like completely washed by that point. And then we look at Anthony Smith.
He fought Gustafsson, and they had to move the fight because he couldn't fight in Nevada.
Yeah, that too, which I guess that's the UFC's problem and not mine. But 3 guys who basically failed to be relevant at the top of light heavyweight. You look at Anthony Smith, you look at Dominic Reyes, you look at Thiago Santos. None of them could ever hold that top spot in light heavyweight. Like, they never really like cemented themselves, if you know what I mean. And also, all 3 of them nearly beat him, like including the Smith knee and the DQ that Anthony gave away. Like, he almost lost that fight. We could have been talking about a world where Anthony Smith beats John Jones and is the light heavyweight champion of the world. Like, that's crazy to me. Cyril Gane, only a top contender because his division was so broken and there was no one else because Ngannou basically got locked out. So we never got the Jones and Ngannou fight. We got Gane instead, who had no wrestling. So Gane
And
made
Jones ducked.
work. And then Stipe, where do I even start, bro? Like beyond washed, 42 years old, off a 3-year absence after one of the most devastating knockouts we've ever seen at heavyweight. Like, this is such a fraudulent run to me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm D1 hating right now. But John Jones is not sniffing a GOAT list to me. And it doesn't even have any, well, it does have something to do with the cheating, but it's not just that. Like, it's if you look at who he was fighting and what he did, like, it doesn't scream dominance to me. And I feel like if John got scaled up against any of these modern era fighters, including a Tom Aspinall, he is losing. And honestly, if the Aspinall fight got set up, I think he gets knocked out within 2 rounds. Just my 2 cents, but there you go. Rant's over.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn. Yeah,
There you go.
I
It's
want
your
to hear
turn
this
now.
response.
Oh, well, you know who my GOAT is.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing a Mount Rushmore or like a GOAT tier list? Like, do I
You
have
do
to
a tier, whatever you want. I did a Mount Rushmore. I did my 4.
Do you like a Mount Rushmore or a top 5?
I'll do a Mount Rushmore. John Jones is my GOAT. There, I said it. I'm not a casual, by the way, so if anyone thinks I'm a casual by saying that, I'm not.
No, Islam is not the GOAT. Islam is not the
John
GOAT.
Jones. John Jones is literally the most talented fighter to ever step in an octagon, and you act like that. That is undeniable. He is the most talented fighter to ever step in an octagon. And if you want to debate me on that, then you can debate me on that.
That's really a shame that he was the best talent in your eyes and he had to cheat to win.
Okay, wait. Is Barry Bonds the best hitter in baseball history?
But also, baseball is different than fighting. Actually, Tom Aspinall put it perfectly. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight or bringing a gun to a knife fight.
Okay,
Bringing a gun to a hand-to-hand fight.
Okay.
This is a hand-to-hand combat fight.
Okay, so wait, but Silva made your list.
Yeah.
Okay,
But he's not. He would have been much higher if he didn't pop. And
All right.
I already explained why. I think Silva's title run was better than John's.
Yeah,
I think
I agree.
John Jones is the GOAT. So it is what it is, and that's just my opinion. He's the most talented fighter to ever step in an octagon. Also, when he popped, do you know what a picogram is?
Yeah, this is the classic. Oh yeah, it was just a picogram. He put it in a system. He got caught for roids. He got caught twice.
Actually,
it is
so
what it is. Bro.
If you look it up, a picogram actually would do nothing to the human body.
Oh my God.
Well, then they wouldn't have made a big deal about it.
Also,
Huh?
so wait, do you know why he got caught for it? He was taking an erectile dysfunction medication. So
Yeah, this guy's not the GOAT. Then that's a crazy ass that's a crazy response to that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I
look,
feel like
personal life happens to players all the time. MLB players have got caught for that.
the
ML,
erectile dysfunction pill.
he's the most talented fighter to step in an octagon. You've never even seen a real John Jones fight.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying it.
Okay, all right.
I'm not buying it.
All right, it's okay. So that's one of my GOATs. GSP, Mighty Mouse, Amanda Nunes, and then I flip back and forth between Silva and Habib, just because I don't think the strength of the resume for Habib is that good. I mean, not that good, but I just think that Silva's weighs like more. So I like at this point I'll say Silva, but I don't know. I just flip flop back and forth from that. I think Max is working his way up close, though.
I agree.
Do you have
I'm
Silva
glad you
too?
said that because I think he's top
Tom?
10 at this point.
Wait, you have Silva too?
I've Silva at 5.
Wait, so what? Can you go back and like what was the rest of your?
I'll go John Jones,
Yeah.
GSP, Mighty
GSP.
Mouse, Nunes, and Silva.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so ours are just the same, except I had Volk instead of
Yeah,
John.
instead of John Jones.
basically.
So,
Max
yeah.
is climbing. Max is climbing. I
Max
agree.
is definitely
Max is
climbing. I
climbing
would
the
say
list.
he's top 10.
But
I just don't know. If
Especially, I
Max,
think
you can go. Sorry, I was just gonna say I think John Jones is the GOAT, and no one's gonna tell me different. So
what are you gonna say?
there you go. Well, I think Max is climbing. I think he's about to go on a reign of terror at the lightweight division. I think this is the best Max Holloway we've seen. People just
Max
gotta wait
is
for it,
already
man.
top 10.
Oh, easily.
Definitely already top 10.
He could be higher though when it's all said and done. Just saying.
Wait, me and Chris were talking about it. Max might be better than Khabib.
I low-key think he is. I'll say it right now. Also, wait. So someone in the chat said Habib is the GOAT. Is that actually your GOAT?
No, it is his GOAT. I've talked to him.
I mean, you know what? I mean, like, I respect it. Like that. I don't think that's like blasphemous.
Yeah.
But
I think I will say if he didn't retire so early, I think we would be talking about him.
It's just all the hand-pick fights for me that just can't, like, doesn't do it.
How is John Jones your GOAT then?
Yeah, I was gonna what?
I'm so sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry. The timing was there and it was perfect.
John Jones is the youngest champion. Habib came into the UFC with like 20 wins already.
But John Jones was the youngest champ in an easier era.
He beat all the GOATs of that era.
I wouldn't say they were in their primes though.
Okay, and
Shogun,
dude,
Rampage.
Okay, wait, time out. Literally, Ilya is doing the
God.
same thing right now, though.
But Ilya's, I feel like those. Okay, the fighters that Ilya faced, I think, are better skill for skill, pound for pound than the fighters John faced.
Arguably.
And I feel like the way Ilya is doing it,
I
is
still
way
like.
more
I mean,
common than
like
Jones.
they're both just legend killers. They just both took out absolute legends.
But I don't know. There's just a way that Ilya is doing it that is like way more dominant to me than what John is doing. Like John definitely dominated those fights. Like,
I mean, dude, he straight up dominated them, except, you know, when he fought a Gustafsson, who was relatively the same age. And we haven't really seen Ilya fight anyone relatively his same age yet. So I feel like we have to cross that bridge when we get there. And honestly, I'll say it right now. I think Ilya is going to be the GOAT when it's all said and done.
Oh yeah, we all agree on that. Like he's going to be the GOAT. That's why
he will be the GOAT.
It's such a baseless argument to even argue a GOAT in the first place.
No, you're so right, because it's not like any other sport. Like even baseball, there can't be a GOAT because there's so many positions.
Yeah.
Basketball,
that's why it's like good for a list.
Basketball, there could be a GOAT debate because there's like you all accrue the same stats, but at the same time, there really can't, because I don't know. It's just so hard. And honestly, that's why when Shrikar and I have always had this conversation, we always go back and forth about John Jones and everything, and he'll hit me with his resume isn't good, and I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, like, back then it was very good. Like when he was beating all these guys, like it was like, oh my God.
He was a great mid 2010s champion.
I think he's literally the most talented fighter to ever step in an octagon.
I think Ilya is more talented than John Jones. I'm gonna just say it. I think Ilya is more talented.
I mean, Ilya also doesn't have a
boxing is miles better. He already has the base in Greco-Roman wrestling, which is the same as John.
Yeah, but the thing is, John Jones could literally not even throw a punch and win a fight.
I do tend to agree with that part.
He literally, first of all, he literally did it to John.
Because if it was that easy, he would have actually not thrown a punch. You know what I mean? Like, you got to throw a punch to win.
I agree, but like John Jones is one of the best wrestlers the UFC has ever seen. He's also physically gifted. He's 6'4" with a 7-foot wingspan. We have never seen really anyone other than that, like that, except for like Ngannou or, Gustafsson. Gustafsson was like John Jones fighting a mirror image of himself. And he struggled in that first fight.
Despite all the physical gifts and despite being given God-given talent, he had to pop for roids. That sucks.
Really but it was erectile dysfunction medication.
Which makes it even worse.
Dude, he just wanted to get a hard on. Like, what can I say?
That makes it way worse. I'm not gonna lie, that's like negative John Jones aura.
Him as a person at all. Terrible person. Like, terrible person.
What's up, Tyler? How are you, man? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I feel like but that's the thing with GOAT lists, and that's why it's all arbitrary at the end of the day, but I feel like it's so stupid because Ilya never even made his way into GOAT combos until he beat Charles. Like, we weren't even discussing Ilya.
Well, it's all subjective, yeah.
I mean,
there's going to be a new guy that gets pushed.
Dude, Ilya is not in the top. Ilya's not even. He's not in the top 10 right now. He's not even close. I don't think he's close to the top 10 right now.
2 title defenses.
He's closer.
Bro,
he's
2
closer.
title defenses. You know how many fighters had 2 title
but
defenses?
like he's closer than people think he is. I think
he's very close.
He is not in the top 10 right now. I promise you.
If Ilya defends against
top 10,
Paddy
but he's
Pimblett,
close.
if Ilya defends against Paddy Pimblett and knocks out Islam, I will call him the GOAT. Easily the GOAT.
You heard it here first.
Think
Oh
they're
yeah, I mean,
featherweight
yeah,
GOAT whispers?
like it all. Honestly, yeah, it really all depends on that Islam fight and depending on how it goes. But
Well, not Tyler. There were featherweight GOAT whispers, but I only feel like that ever. Like I feel like divisional GOAT versus like actual like overall GOAT. Like I feel like people were only bringing up like featherweight GOAT after he knocked out Max, but then he moved up. You know what I mean? Or I mean, yeah, even after he knocked out Volk too. Like I feel like people would bring that up as like, okay, is this the most dominant featherweight champion we've ever seen because he's just knocking out everybody left and right? And the one time he went to decision, or 2 times, I guess, if we count the Zalal one, but the other time he went to decision, he absolutely obliterated Josh Emmett. You know, like I feel like those types of things are so arbitrary, and that's why the UFC just can never consensus agree on a GOAT in the same way that an NFL fan base can agree on Brady as the GOAT, or an NBA fan base can agree on LeBron or Jordan. Like, I feel like MMA, there's so many different names you could toss out there, and like you're going to have your own criteria and your own argument for each one. And that's why it's kind of like baseless again. Like, I just feel like you can talk about divisional GOATs, but an overall GOAT is very, very hard because you have to scale it.
all right, wait. So so there's a lot of talks about steroids and everything. He was beating all the other guys on steroids, like the other people who were taking steroids. So wouldn't that be a level playing field?
No, DC wasn't popping. If they were all popping, they would have gone caught. Vitor is the only one I'll give you. Like, Vitor was definitely juiced.
Yes.
That guy was juiced.
I mean,
100%.
And what did he do to Vitor? He literally he locked him.
He locked, but like, that's like one fight, bro. And Vitor also.
I think a lot of other fighters were popping back then. There was no USADA.
But even then, even if we take the cheating aside, I don't think John Jones just translates to the modern era, and that's part of it.
But that's a different conversation.
Like Volk, for example, I think Volk could dominate in any era he's in. Any era he's in, because he is the most technical striker I think ever. Like Volk would dominate in John's era, like not in light heavyweight, but in featherweight in John's era, he would dominate. Like you could put him anywhere and he'd dominate. Like GSP, not necessarily the same thing, because honestly, prime for prime, I think prime Kamaru would beat prime GSP, but these guys would translate.
I do not agree with that at all.
I don't know if I agree.
GSP striking is on a different level, bro. Kamaru is like,
I think Kamaru was a better striker than GSP.
Yeah, but Kamaru ain't throwing like question mark kicks and side kicks, and
but
I think GSP has Kamaru.
But also Kamaru grew up. Well, this is also kind of like, this is like a cheap way to look at it, but
let me hear
Kamaru grew up watching GSP and was able to study him a lot more than like if you put GSP in the cage with a Kamaru Usman, he's not going to know what to expect because he hasn't watched Kamaru. Like he doesn't know like what he's in for. Like I get that's a pretty like bad like argument.
I mean, part of it. I understand what you're saying.
Kamaru would come in with more knowledge of his opponent than GSP would of his. And also all the things like Kamaru can negate GSP's wrestling like pretty easily, honestly.
Yeah, but if he negates the wrestling, he's not winning in a striking battle with GSP.
I think he does though.
No.
I think he does.
I'm sorry, there's no way.
If he could win a striking battle with Jorge Masvidal of all people and knock out
Jorge
Masvidal
doesn't do
cold,
kicks. Jorge doesn't throw kicks. He's not a complete striker. He's a boxer.
But Kamaru is going to be prepared for kicks, bro. Except against Leon in the 5th round with a minute to go. But he's going to be prepared.
And in the third fight, honestly, like he lost that third fight. He got dominated.
I don't know, man. I
understand what you're saying. Like I 100% understand what you're saying, because it's almost, that's like a hard question, because like you said, Kamaru grew up watching GSP, so it's like Kobe and Jordan. Like Kobe modeled his game after Jordan, so it's like if they played one-on-one, it's like playing each other.
But I think the key difference is Kobe is a worse version of Jordan, while I think Kamaru is a better version of GSP. Like just off paper, like on paper, like just on paper.
I mean, like technically, like yeah, but at the same time, GSP's lost twice, and he avenged both of those losses, and Kamaru did not.
No. I'm just saying, like record aside, like
record aside. I mean,
like just on paper.
Look,
like,
it would be so close. Don't get me wrong.
It would be very close.
But I really think GSP has.
You know what's crazy? This just unlocked a memory, because me and Chris actually played UFC 4, and I was using GSP, and he was using Kamaru, and he literally knocked me out. And every other fight,
but it's the player, not the game.
No. Because every fight besides that, I won.
Game.
But except that fight. So I think Kamaru actually would beat GSP.
Yeah, but we were playing with wrestling. I don't do wrestling. I do
UFC
stand and bang.
That's funny.
That is funny. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, Shrikar and I would just sit in their living room with their like 70 million inch TV and just chill out.
It was not that big. It was not that big.
All right. So from the couch, it looked pretty big because it was pretty up close. No, I would say it's
we had a big table, so like we could fit it.
That was like a 60, right? 50.
That was a 60 for sure.
Okay,
it was a 60, but if you were under some sort of influence, you would have thought it's like a 70, 80.
You know no, exactly.
Mine behind me, the one I have behind me is a 42, and the other one is at least.
Oh, yeah, dude, that one. Your guys' old TV clears. I love how we just started talking about your guys' old setup. That was awesome.
Yeah.
For those who know,
that's a cue that we've got deep into this GOAT debate.
I would go over. Well, see, look, this is first of all, this is how this podcast started. End of junior year, beginning of senior year, I would just go over to their house every day to just hang out.
Chris was basically our roommate at this point.
I was the unofficial fourth roommate. And it was awesome. We would just go over, watch UFC, debate, and we kind of came up with the idea of, let's just start a podcast. We had to do it,
man. We had to. But there's too much stuff going on in the text chat. Let's just all unpack it here. Go to war. That's why it's called the MMA War Room.
Exactly. So and countless John Jones debates. And I feel like terrible for even defending him because he's just such a bad person that doesn't align with my morals at all.
I can't do it, man.
But at the same time,
as much as we debated, I hadn't debated John Jones in a while, so this was fine for me.
Yeah,
I can't do this.
Also, if anyone's watching, go back and watch Shrikar and I's breaking news video of when John Jones retired. I was actually speechless. Like, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, "Oh, no way!" I like Loki knew it was coming, but I didn't want to make it true because once you say things, you like speak it into reality, and then it happens. It's like manifestation. So I didn't want to manifest it. So I didn't say it, but it happened anyway. But yeah, no, it's like I don't know. It doesn't align with my morals at all. Separate the art from the artist. Just like Kanye and his whole debacle.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how much we debate this stuff, Chris put me on MMA, so I'm always gonna give him his flowers when he needs it.
No, but look, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That was all you guys. Like, I'm glad I just had
fire quote. I have never heard that before.
You've never heard that before?
What was that? If you lead a horse to water,
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
That's a caption. I like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, that's actually something I live by. Like when I try and put people onto things and they don't like it, that's what I tell myself. Like you can introduce it to them, but you can't make them like it. You have to like it yourself. So I'm just glad I had people to watch UFC with because I couldn't really find that at school. Actually, that's not true.
You had Team Money. Team Money.
There was a lot of people that liked UFC, but not everyone wanted to watch every single fight night in the middle of a Saturday just cause. But these guys would. So
hell yeah,
it's awesome. And now 100%. We're here. And to end that combo, John Jones is my GOAT.
John Jones is not the GOAT, but we want to thank you for tuning into
the live stream. Though, so
we're gonna peace out for now. But we got predictions for Tatsuro Taira. Yeah, Tatsuro Taira and Hyunsung Park is coming up on Saturday. We're gonna have predictions out.
It's gonna be a bang.
Episode should go up Friday. We'll put it up Friday, and then we'll see you after the event for the recap too. So thank you for stepping into the War Room. First live stream, not the last. For Chris Schroyer, Sam Corcoran, I'm Shrikar Rajendran saying so long. We'll catch you next time. Peace.